Bat fans out there, this is Darren from the Gotham City Gazette. We're doing a little side thing here. I had this idea the other night, and you're going to see both Matt and Mike do their versions later too. Our favorite Batman toy that we own, either now or we had as a kid. My favorite one I had as a kid, and I still own it now. I had it, thanks eBay. I got it, this Batman Returns Batmobile. This is awesome. This is not the first one they released. They released one for the first movie for '89, but for Batman Returns they released another one, and this is really cool because it's bigger, it's sleeker, it's got more detail. It was my favorite one as a kid. I got it again on eBay. The guy sent it to me really good. And what's cool about this one, bring it down here a little bit, is this one was the Bat missile. So you push it here in the middle, boom, look at that. Oh. Just like in the, and then it's so funny, they actually released this later in the movie, and there wasn't a lot of release because I think they wanted to wait till the movie came out, because if they did this, it would kind of spoil what happens. They didn't want to, you know, so, because this happens in the movie, so they didn't want to put the toy out. So the toy came out later, and there wasn't a lot made, so if you go on eBay, it's really expensive. And I also have another Batman. This is one of my favorites. Any kind of Batman toy I had was, I always liked the Bruce Wayne figures, as in the Batman gear figures, or the, just basically like he's, take the mask off here, he's Michael Keaton. No, he's Batman. He's got to put the gear on, put the gloves on, put the everything on. So, and then you could that was always my favorite because he could be Bruce Wayne Batman. So any kind of toys they did that. They did one with Superman. They did one with Spider-Man. They did a cool one with the Shadow. Remember that movie came out? Anybody? No, okay. They did that movie, and so yeah. So, and I want to segue also to doing kind of just favorites that we have, being Batman fans. My favorite Batman film of all time, I know it's not going to surprise anybody, and I know everyone knows how I am about Mr. Michael Keaton. The first Batman movie, because this started up, not the first, if you count the '66 movie, but the first real dark, Tim Burton, Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson, is still my favorite. I know that movie from top to bottom, left to right, like the back of my hand. That's new. Anyway, so I still love it. Still my favorite, and I can quote that movie, and it still helped maybe not the truest representation with the comics. You know, they took a lot of liberties, but it still holds up, and there's kickstarted the whole Dark Batman. And then my favorite animated movie, and I know Matt's not going to be too happy about this because I think he picked it too, was Batman Mask of the Phantasm. The movie came out in '93, based off the great, brilliant animated series. It's a side story they did, and it actually came out in theaters. I recommend it. If you have not seen Batman Mask of the Phantasm, pick it up. It's really good, especially if you're a fan of the animated series. And also, so we're talking about, again, favorites. My favorite Batman story, I know it's going to come cliche, no one's going to be surprised by this, and I know in the last podcast I kind of poo-pooed Dark Knight 3, but Dark Knight Returns, still my favorite story. I love it for all the reasons it kind of, you know, Frank Miller kind of gave Batman his balls back. Now granted, Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams kind of brought Batman back to his dark roots in the '70s, but he really made this dark, violent, futuristic, what happens to Batman, he's old and he's 50. I love the story. This is the collection, anniversary edition, really good. So if you haven't read Dark Knight Returns, and if you're a fan of Batman, please read it, along with his Year One, Killing Joke, Hush, great stories. I can't recommend them enough. They're great. So, also Long Halloween. So yeah, so that's my favorite Batman stuff, and I think I love Batman, and you'll be hearing both Mike and Matt's what their favorite stuff is, and thanks for joining for our little